It's an important day for Tata Motors. They've just launched CURVV, and to talk more about it, I have the man himself, Mr. Shailesh Chandra. Thanks a lot,
My
Shailesh.
pleasure.
First thing, pricing strategy. What was the thought behind that?
You know, we have seen that over a period of time in electric vehicle industry, we have been trying to overcome multiple barriers that existed. And we have come a long distance, I would say, in the last 4-5 years. But there are 3-4 residual barriers which are still left, which is stopping the late majority or a mainstream buyer to adopt EVs. One has been the price parity, the other one has been charging time, and the third one has been the range anxiety or lack of charging infra and all. So therefore, we thought that it is important that if a customer in a segment like mid-size SUV is thinking of buying an automatic transmission car, then they should actively consider electric also, because this is the best automatic that you can get in any car. And that was the thought process. Given the battery prices have been coming down, we have gone for deeper localization. It gave us an opportunity to bring price parity. In fact, it is slightly less than the on-road price of a petrol automatic in a mid-size SUV. So therefore, this takes care of that barrier. Even you would have seen the charging time has significantly come down because of the C rating, which has gone up for the cells that we are using. So technically, it has the ability to take more charge. And therefore now, as you're going to have a chai on a highway, in 15 minutes, you can actually top up your charge by 150 kilometers. So that charging time anxiety also has come down, and with a very large battery pack in its segment, you can do actually easily 450 kilometers. So the range anxiety, the need of charger as you are doing an intercity drive, that has also come down. So broadly, that has been the thought process behind Curve, and the pricing also, as you asked.
Okay, you mentioned localization. Will this now benefit you in pricing? What is the localization level? Because there is a performance link incentive scheme.
Sure.
Does that help you?
So, whichever electric car we are making, we are ensuring that we completely meet the requirements of the PLI, which is defined in terms of domestic value addition DVA, which should be more than 50%. We have kept sufficient headroom for ourselves from a localization perspective, and we are fully compliant to the PLI. So there's high level of localization that we have been doing as far as CURVV is also concerned.
What about market size? What is the customer profile you are looking at for Curve as a brand? And what is the market size you think you are targeting with this?
No, so see, this is a mid-size SUV segment, which is typically today, if you see, this segment would be about 55,000-60,000 a month. At an annual level, this would be more approaching 700,000. So this is a large segment now, which gives you the possibility of experimenting with more newness, body styles and all. So, the idea of Curve, if you see, the mid-size SUV segments are primarily customers who are not the first-time buyers, as unlike the compact SUV segment, where in Nexon, for example, 60% of our Nexon buyers are first-time buyers. Mid-size SUV is an upgrade, segment. And therefore, these customers who have owned a less than 4-meter car are now upgrading to a 4.3-meter car or a mid-size SUV car. So primarily, I feel that the Curve customer is going to be a customer who's upgrading. From a mindset perspective, typically a first-time buyer is still experiencing a car. An upgrader is more informed about cars, they understand the features, they have the feeling of what a car's aesthetic is, they're more discerning. So therefore, these customers are upgrader, they are more discerning. It's a large size market that we are tapping. We are doing this in a very congested segment with a differentiated approach by breaking the clutter, by bringing for the first time SUV coupe body style in the country.
So, an EV buyer is an EV buyer. Do you think that Curve will cannibalize Nexon EV?
You see, one that I'm seeing that given that we have brought the price parity, so now rather the cannibalization might happen from possibly an ICE automatic buyer in the mid-size SUV now considering actively an EV. As far as Nexon segment are concerned, both are differentiated in terms of the body style, size, pricing. All these things will be very different, and therefore every segment has its space, and therefore there will be always be some level of cannibalization that you will see because they are adjacent segments. But broadly, the customers are different. I would believe that there will be greater conversion of ICE buyers in this segment, given that the taxation of this segment is high. Therefore, it gives opportunity to bring the price parity with also the sale price reduction coming down. There will be active consideration of electric vehicles in this segment by the customers who were otherwise considering, an ICE automatic.
Indian EV market is still showing good growth, but internationally there have been some concerns about EVs. Lots of big manufacturers have started rethinking their EV strategy. What's your view on that? What are your expectations from EV growth in India?
There was a dip in the past, quarters, but it is again, you're seeing that it is coming back. China kind of a market which is still doing double-digit growth, and also market has come back. I don't think any manufacturer has the liberty of rethinking any strategy on electric vehicle because everybody has to move to electric vehicle. The regulations will also drive. So it is about readjusting their strategy in terms of what product portfolio they need to bring, because some products might not have done good for certain manufacturers. So they will come with a recalibrated strategy or a revised strategy of electric vehicle. But there is no global company who can stay away from electric. There can't be rethinking.
But they're rethinking about hybrid, for giving a little bit more focus on hybrid.
I don't think so, because hybrid is just an interim technology, more an ICE vehicle. It might be required by certain manufacturers depending on what is their mix of EVs. And therefore, if there is on the ICE side any technology required to ensure that the mix makes them compliant to meet a CAFE requirement, otherwise they'll face the penalty. So hybrid is only going to serve that purpose. So mix of all technologies will exist. I think that is pretty much for us. A hybrid is not needed because we have a significant headroom to meet the CAFE compliance. We have 20 gram per kilometer kind of a headroom. I don't need a hybrid, for example. Similarly, there will be manufacturers like us who
but you don't buy into the practicality angle of it from a customer point of view. Lots of people
the most practical is a petrol diesel car then. Frankly, if you have to really compare a hybrid, you should compare where there is no ecosystem is ready. Wherever ecosystem is ready, there is a convenience for a customer. Is that the end state of where you want to take the whole industry to, or where the nation should be? If electric vehicle has to be the solution of a net carbon zero world, then you have to do it. You have to ensure that the ecosystem challenges are taken care of. That can only happen if every participant, every stakeholder, whether it is government, customer, OEMs, all remain committed to improving the ecosystem. Otherwise, CNG, with some degree of challenges that it has, or a diesel and petrol, why then we should not say petrol and diesel is good, so let us stay with that. Hybrid is just a more closer technology to a diesel, which gives a better fuel efficiency. That's not the solution. Therefore, we have to remain focused on where the end state of the country has to be, and all of us has to be. So therefore, it is better to debate that how fast we can overcome the ecosystem challenges to ensure that faster we move towards the electric vehicle world, because that is the only thing where everybody has to move to for a better planet and for the future generation.
Okay. What is your expectation on growth in EV for this year? And if I'm not wrong, last quarter, your EV operating margins were negative, around 7.3%. When do you think you will start seeing better margins there?
See, we would be only some of the manufacturers who are still EBITDA positive operationally. So therefore, you would have seen the pre-EBITDA numbers before the product development expense, because that's a charge of a product development expense that you do. Therefore, we should take that as an investment.
Okay.
So we are not burning cash in non-investment area. So we are pre-EBITDA positive still. Last year, last quarter also you would have seen. And that is what we want to maintain, right? Going forward, the profitability is going to increase. You know, there are all tailwinds which are going to support that. You will ensure that first you use that cost structure improvement to increase the range and overcome that barrier completely. And then ensure that the price remains significantly competitive versus the ICE. So that is the journey that we will be going through.
And what about your growth expectations in EV this year?
You know, I said that we want to remain focused on seeing how we can hit the 1 lakh number. That is the aspiration that we'll still be chasing. We have a lot of tailwinds. The festive season is going to come. There are launches. CURVV has got launched. Then we have Harrier EV also coming. And I also believe that once the FAME 3 incentive gets announced, the fleet segment, which has gone down because of the pre-buy in Q4, and currently the fleet operators waiting for a FAME 3, things should revive there also. So I believe that there can be a good tailwind.
What is your expectation from FAME 3?
My expectation is that it should have the policy continuity of what was in FAME 2. It should support all the categories which were supported in FAME 2. There should be greater emphasis now on charging infra. Also, how the enablement of policy helps in more accelerated growth of charging infra. That would be the expectation.
You're also launching the petrol and diesel version of Curve. My question on that is that why EV first and ICE next? And also you're entering a very tough mid-size SUV market. There is EV brings a bigger differentiation, but Curve ICE will have to fight it out in this very tough segment. Almost all players are already there. What's your plan? What is going to be Curve's differentiator?
Correct. So one, why EV first? I mean, we could have done ICE also because both are, already getting produced now. But frankly, Curve was first developed as an EV, right? And therefore, this was the first, in a way, the first EV kind of a concept that was brought in here. But it was such a stylish vehicle that we said that we can't keep the ICE customers who are still preferring ICE vehicles devoid of that body style. So it is also a symbolic message that how this product was conceived first, right? As an electric, it was conceived. So symbolically, we have kept it, first EV, and then we are trying to bring the ICE later on. The second question, which was more on we entering a segment which is intensely fought, it is true, but this is good thing is that this segment has grown very fast. It has reached a level where it would be touching nearly 700,000 a year, this mid-size SUV segment, which would have been 203,000 few years back. So therefore, it gives space for more experiments to be done in this space. But I would say that it is so cluttered with similar looking cars in this segment that it is best to break this clutter by coming with something fresh, new, which is more premium. Globally, you are seeing Coupe becoming a very fast growing body style. Although right now you're seeing more on the premium SUV side, why not democratize it in the country in a segment which is going to grow the fastest? And where you have customer segment, as I said, because these are very discerning customers who buy mid-size SUV segment, who can appreciate the best balance of the utilitarian aspect of the vehicle, but also emotionally it appeals also very well with the customers because of very plush, interiors, fresh features, first, high-tech features like ADAS level 2 and all. And apart from that, this is a very fast-growing segment globally, and people who are traveled globally in this segment also appreciate this better. So I think best approach was to come with a clutter-breaking product, and I think therefore we trust that this will appeal to the customers.
I have one last question. What is your current inventory? And we have seen in May, June, the registrations were a little low. Do you think that situation changed? And are you making sure that your inventory levels are well balanced? And then what is your expectation for the industry growth this year?
So, first let me answer the first part of the question. May, June, the registrations of the industry went down, but July it bounced back. There was a 10% growth if you compare with July of 23. For us, the growth in registration was nearly 15%. So we have taken an approach that we'll focus more on registrations and less on wholesale, because there is a stock issue that, as you have seen. So you'll see that our wholesale market share has been kept lower than the retail market share or registration Vahan market share, purposefully, so that we keep our inventories under check. Right? Our inventory would be anywhere between 35 days to 40 days. And this should come down as the festive season is going to come and all. So therefore, we are very confident this will go down. H1, I believe that it will be flat for the industry, primarily because of Q2, because the Q2 base effect was very high last year. In H2, we should start seeing good growth on the back of festive season. We hope so. Let us see how the trend is. I'm only confident because I'm seeing the inquiries holding to good levels.
Okay.
Which is a precursor to what will be the future retail. So that's my expectation.
Thank you so much, Shailesh, for taking time out. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Nice
And
meeting
best of luck for Curve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.